Welcome, guys, to the second episode of the Mad Mike podcast, the Take It Easy podcast with your host, me, Mad Mike. And, today we're going to be going through my life from start to finish to where I am today to, my addiction, my mental health, the trauma in my life. The money, the women, everything, football, you name it. So, hang around for the next hour or so. And, if you're struggling with your addiction or mental health, this may just help you. And that's, the next episode we will be having a guest on. The guest, I meant to have a guest today, but he's ended up on a bender. How's that? So, let's get going. So, I'm going to take you back to when I was a child. When I was a kid, growing up, I was, from the age of, from as long as I can remember, up until my brother was born, so up until I was around 7, I was a kid, bright blonde, mushroom haircut, and I was very well behaved in school. I was just all about football, and I'd be out on the streets as we did back in them days. You don't see it these days, do you? But I was out every night playing football, whether it be raining, cold, yeah. And we'd be out on the streets, me and my friends, and we'd just be kicking footballs against bushes. And I adored football from a very, very young age. It took, I got to 9-year-old and I joined my first football team. And I started off very well. I was scoring goals for fun, and it took around 4 months to get a trial for Bolton Wanderers. I was took on by Bolton Wanderers, so that was all fantastic. As a kid, we all, all your parents out there, to be took on by Bolton Wanderers at the time. Back in them days, you only had one team. You see all these different teams now at City United. It wasn't like that 20 years ago. It was very much one team who was coached by an ex-professional footballer, and it was good, But around that time, 7, 8, my little brother was born, and sadly, my mother went into postnatal depression, and what came with that was trouble. That is when the house I lived in with my mum, my dad, my sisters, my little brother became a bit broken, and my mum turned to alcohol, and that is when problems may have started for me in my life. I am a mummy's boy. I was a mummy's boy, and my dad was getting chucked out every weekend. Was it his fault or my mum's fault? I'll never know that, and I don't need to know that. But that is the first, that is the first time I can think back to, being in front of violence, being in front of, anger. And, my mum over 5 years deteriorated very badly. And, I can remember her not picking me up from school sometimes because she got caught drink driving. I remember, her manipulating me as a child. We all do it as addicts. I've done it in the past. I don't blame her for it, but it did happen. It's she'd tell me not to tell my dad that she'd had a drink, and she'd buy me loads of chocolate, and and we'd sit on the sofa and watch Jack Frost or Inspector Morse. And I love my mum. I loved her very dearly. And my sisters, they go to the dads at the weekend. I was always at my mum's because my dad was in and around. And my brother was there, little lad. And then, I get to 11 years old, and football was going great. Yeah, I can always remember my mum, probably still pissed, on the sidelines, screaming. She was a very passionate woman, my mother, and that's where I get my passion from today, because I am a passionate person. I'm very passionate about addiction, mental health, football, everything I do really. If I love it, I get very passionate and very into it. I'm all or nothing. And if you follow me on TikTok, you'll know about that. So where did my life change? the first big moment was losing my mother. Yeah. So I can remember being a little boy, yeah, on a Saturday morning, and I went, my mum at the time, mum and dad had split up, and my mum was at her boyfriend's. It was about half a mile away, and I remember getting the bus there. I walked into, you know, with my friend at the time. He played for City and I was at Bolton. It was, you know, called Lee. And it was like, yeah, come in, mate. She's upstairs. And so I go upstairs and I'm like, right, mum, I want my dinner. I knocked on the door. She didn't answer. And he was like, yeah, she's in there, go in. And I walked in and, you know, and that is where my life changed forever. As a little boy, you know, you're walking and I'm just like, mum, I want some money. And I walked in and, you know, she was lay there, and sadly she'd lost her life, you know, to drink. She had liver failure, and I walked in, and I was a, you know, 11-year-old boy finding his mum dead. It's not, you know, it's not a good start to life, is it? And she was blue in bed. I remember the day so clearly, and I didn't know how to react, you know. And I think that's where, later in life, it didn't serve me good, you know. Barriers come up straight away. I was in front of a mate of mine who played for City. I was at Bolton, we had rivalry. Yeah, he's a great lad now, by the way. But it's where I reckon for the first time in my life, barriers come up, maybe a little ego come out, maybe insecurities come out, and I just went, yeah, I'm all right, mate. You know, we rang the ambulance come, she was unsavable, unfortunately, she'd been gone for hours. And I didn't cry at first. I didn't. Obviously, when my nan came round and my granddad and my sisters and all that, I cried my eyes out. And I promise you, from there, looking back now, I was a lost, insecure little boy inside. Yeah. And it was hard. So life after then became very hard for me. It did. And I've always ignored all this. And like, so I go to school, and the jokes at time at school was, I've shagged your mum, I've slept with your mum's a whore. It's life, it happens. And what happened is, in school, I got into loads of fights, and, you know, 3 or 4 fights, I remember bursting out crying at school when a teacher asked, anyone said mum, I cried. Anyone said mum, I cried. I was very popular at school. I was a very good looking lad, I was very popular. I was a football, you know, I was playing for Bolton Wanderers. Everyone wanted to play for a team, and I was there. You know, I remember being at Bolton Wanderers and training, and some people, you know, they've got mums and dads, and I've lost my mum at a young age. And I felt I could not mention my mum. I didn't mention it. Anybody mentioned my mum, I was barriers up. Don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. And I kept myself to myself a lot, and I can remember it, you know. So going through school was, you know, I moved in with my dad for a year or so, and then, you know, my granddad had passed a few years earlier, and my nan asked me to move in with her. So, you know, my nan did a great job bringing me up. Obviously, I had my dad, you know, my dad, I still sleep at my dad's every now and then, but my nan, you know, predominantly. And, you know, through my teenage years, you know, I was well behaved at school. You know, I was just out in the schoolyard all the time playing football. You know, I didn't start puberty until I was 16. So my interest in women, yeah, I was, you know, I can remember necking girls in school and that, but fuck me, I was very scared of any girl going any further than that, mate. Until I was about 17, so, you know, I was insecure about my puberty as well. You know, I didn't get puberty till 16, mate. Sorry. But it's the truth, you know. So, yeah. So life was good, you know. At Bolton Wanderers then, I was a very good player. You know, I was the first child to sign a 4-year contract in youth football in academy level. I was the top goal scorer in the country for 2 years on the bounce in all the academies in the country. A little mushroom head, mate, and I was just fine. I remember scoring an hat-trick against Manchester United at Carrington, and my coach pulled me the next day in training the Tuesday. He was like, Michael, it's one of the best performances I've seen from a young kid. And then, you know, there from then on, you think, I am going to make it as a footballer. I'm going to make it. And I remember saying to the head teacher, it was like, in school, what do you want to be when you're older? I'm like, I'm going to be a footballer, mate. And that's maybe where the arrogance started from, or my confidence. It was like, yeah, but Michael, you know, not many make, well, I'm going to make it, mate. Mr. Dickinson, it was called. I think it was a bit of a piss, I'd be honest. Anyway, going off that. So then, my life took a dramatic change again. So at 16, you know, I'm 6'2", 6'3" today. At 16, like I said, I'd not started puberty, mate. I'd not. And I was very small. I couldn't keep. So when you get to 15, 16, you're playing in a team and it's mixed. And then, you know, we was going in Wednesdays through the day. We'd have a day off school. We'd go and train at Bolton Wanderers, you know, with the first team. In and around the first team, you know, I remember playing head tennis with JJ Okocha. I remember playing, you know, Yuri Djorkaeff, you know. You'd have Jussi Jääskeläinen and all, you know, Ivan Campo, Henrik Pennersen, all them. And we was in and around that on and it doesn't really happen now, I don't think. We was training on the field next to him. And as a 15-year-old boy, that was unbeatable. You know, I go and watch him. We get free tickets on the Saturday. And I became a Bolton fan then. You know, I was always United, but I've always loved both clubs all my life. But I predominantly went watching Bolton Wanderers with my dad. You know, my mate, Alex Marrow, his dad. And we, you know, he was one of my best mates growing up as a kid. But things changed, you know. We'll get to that later. So, yeah. 16 came, I was too small, and they pulled me. I remember the phone call off my dad, and it broke my heart, mate. And this is where, as a kid, the barriers came up again, and I pretended to be okay. Yeah, my dad's rang me up, he's gone, Michael, just let you know, we've had Peter on, the head of the academy, they're not going to give you a scholarship, you know. And I was just like, right, yeah, that's fine. And we was as kids, we had caravans as kids. So we'd have a back street. My childhood was great. It was, apart from my mother, my childhood was great. You know, my nan looked after me, she fed me well, but we had a culture in the back-ends where kids were out all night, mate. We'd stay out till midnight. And what we used to do, me and my mates, Jordan, Jamie, and you know, Sam, and stuff like that, we used to buy caravans, right? So we used to buy caravans, 2-berth, 3-berth caravans, and we put them in the back street. And that was our place as lads, you know. And that's how we grew up. And I remember I was in the caravan just chilling, just all playing tunes on our Sony Ericssons and stuff, playing Snake. And yeah, I just ran out of the caravan and I cried. And I said, Dad, you have to pick me up. And I cried. So, up until then, I'd never took to drink or a drug or smoked. Oh, actually, I had one cig menthol. Well, I don't like it. I'll give it my sister. You know, I got them from my nan's. Don't tell me now, buddy. I got them out of my nan's jaw. That's what we did as kids. So, we move on to life after 16. So I left school. I broke my arm the day before my exams. So all my exams went tits up. Apart from maths, which I was very good at. Not so much today, but as a kid I was very, you know, I was an A-star A student in maths, and luckily, you know, I did my PE exam before I broke, you know, I fell off a motorbike. Why I bought a motorbike, I do not know, mate. Never drove one in my life. I thought I'd go out and buy one. You know, I was very good because money-wise, I've been working for my mate's business. He's very, you know, a mate I'm close to today. And he took me on, so 15, 16, I used to work Saturday, Sundays, delivering beer, mate. I used to deliver beer to all pubs as a 15 and 16-year-old, mate. It was class. And, you know, and that's where I met one of my good friends, you know, Dave, and he took me under his wing a bit. He did, you know, and he always has. He's always been a big brother to me. We're not as close today as I'd like to be, but, you know, I've done a lot of stuff in the past, like I'm going to mention. So, yeah, I had a little bit of savings, you know. I put my money away. I was only on I started off at a tenner a day, mate, and then it was 20 quid a day, 30 a day. But I was you know, I didn't drink, and I put it away. So I always had savings me from it. I was very good with money at 16, 17. I was very good. So then, you know, we move. I started to drink with my friends, and I hated it. I hated the taste of lager. And I remember being around my mates, Joe's, and he'd be like, get 4 cans. And I'm like, I just wanted fit in. Yeah, so my life as a footballer, I forgot about it, mate. And I just wanted to fit in with my friends. So what my friends were doing was, and this is where me was not being me. And I started to drink, and I hated it. I can remember it to this day. What was it? Cans of Foster's. And I was sat there with my mates, fucking trying to force it down me. And I just, you know, to this day now, I have drank a lot in the past. I have. But like today, I don't drink, obviously. But I don't like the taste of lager. I don't. Every now and then, a top of it. But I remember forcing it down me. And, you know, I remember the first time I got absolutely levered when, you know, I put half a litre of vodka in a big bottle of Tango Fruit Twist. Not Tango, Fanta Fruit Twist. I remember the first time I was paralytic drunk, and I was walking in and bouncing off the walls in my back street, and yeah, and you know, I used to drink vodka. I'd be in bed for 9 o'clock, and I'd be up the next day. I never had hangovers. So what happened from there is, you know, because my mate had bars, he was very known, well, DJ in the local area. He would get me into clubs as a cameraman, mate. I was a cameraman, mate. Or behind the DJ box doing all lights. So from 16, 17, I looked very young, but I was in all this I was in there, mate. I remember fingering my first girl on dance floor and all that, and I got shouted at because I left the DJ box. Right, but I loved it. I loved it. And that's where, you know, I started to drink, yeah? So when I was 18, and we used to have 247 party people back in the day. It was like a community of people. We'd have nights on here, there. We'd have DJ Cy, MC Storm. We'd have some great nights, you know, people, it'd all be videoed. The places were rammed with ravers. And I was a 16-year-old, 17-year-old lad, good looking. I was fucking thriving, mate. Thriving. I was bouncing round, mate, a different girl every weekend. Loving life. Loving life. And you know, I started to play football again for a team called North Walkden on Sunday mornings. You know, but I wouldn't go out the nights I had a match. If they got called off, I'd go out. You know, I got a fake ID, as we all do. And then 18, I remember having my first line, 17 or 18. I remember having my first line of cocaine. And this is where I was introduced to the drug that I never knew was going to be my answer and solution to everything and everything in my life up until today. Well, 5 weeks ago. Yeah. And that is where I was introduced to it. I remember having it in a club in Warrington. I can't tell you now how I felt about it, but I only had one line. And then it must have, you know, and this is where people, you know, that this is why I do this podcast, is because people need to understand that it starts with that one line, you know, and it grows on you. And I'm going to show you how it grew on me throughout my life to absolutely take the lot. So yeah, the first line, and then I was just out, you know, I'd been working, I got a job, I went coaching football around the country for around the world for about a year. I was very lucky, I went to college, I got a job with Bolton Wanderers halfway through college, and I've been for 6 weeks. I went Mallorca, all the hotels were first choice. I went coaching footballs, we worked about an hour and a half a day, 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes in the afternoon, and the rest of the time was out. We had a villa in Ibiza. It was on the other side of San Antonio, but we'd go into San Antonio. There were me, another girl, coach, another lad, you know, and you know, it's the next best thing to being a footballer. And I can remember I was drinking, but I weren't taking drugs. You know, I could take it or leave it then. Yeah, I could take it or leave it then. Was I an addict then? I'm not sure, you know, or did my addiction grow on me, which I think happened. So I come back, I started working for my mate full time. So I was managing a warehouse of men and boys and that. And from the age of 19, 20, you know, I was very good at my job. I had money in the bank. You know, I can remember buying my first BMW at 21. First, you know, a relatively new 3 Series with the wheels on, with a private plate on. I was the boy, mate, you know. My mate used to lend me his white Range Rover. Yeah, and I'd be chilling, mate. Chilling, good job. Got me a, you know, fashion, my mate who looked after me. And I was loving life, mate. I had a little relationship for about half a year. Apart from that, mate, I was just out there banging every fucking bird possible. Yeah. Oh, I loved it. And if only it would have stayed like that, you know, where I could go out, have a few lines, get pissed, take a girl home. Life would be perfect, wouldn't it? And then get up Monday morning, bang on with my day. Don't work like that. So, I ended up getting back into football with my local team at 21, Hyndesford Football Club. And in my first season back, you know, I was top goal scorer in the league. You know, we had a very good team. We had 3 forwards, me. We had me, Wes Bancroft, and we had Mark. I think his second name in a minute. Anyway, we had 3 centre forwards. We smashed the league to bits, and that's my first league title that I'd won. Yeah, and it was good. We had Baz Masses, our manager, Simon Hampson involved, and it was fucking good, mate. So then we go out at Tilson, the local area. I loved it. So from there, that season, I got a trial at Notts County. Rob Day, my friend, you know, I didn't really know him at the time, so I could get Michael. No, they got me mate, Luke Sylvester, a trial. And he didn't want to go, so they sent me. I was like, do you want to go? I said, I'll fucking go. So I said to me, you know, my mate, my ex-boss, Flashy, he was like, yeah, go and do it, I'll still pay you. Go and have 4 weeks in Nottingham, 2 weeks in Nottingham. I'm going to try and be a professional footballer. So I went down there, and I was very, very shy. You know, I was opened up to the football world, you know, professional football. So they were League One at the time. And I remember walking in and into the changing room and Clinton Morrison was there. I didn't even know it was Clinton Morrison. I remember warming up, yeah, having breakfast with Clinton Morrison. You know, you see most guys sports these days. I was like chatting to him. I didn't know who he was. You know, there was someone, I can't remember any of the other names, but Clinton Morrison was there. He was trying to get a club. He moved on in the end, but yeah, and you know, they were videoing all the sessions and coaches, and it was just a proper professional setup, Notts County, and I loved it. I was probably the fittest lad there, and that's what I based my game on being. Don't get me wrong, it didn't go that way in the end, but I was very fit, very athletic. I was very, you know, muscly. I was strong. I was fast. I could finish. Passing, awareness of the game, my ability on the ball weren't the best. So I never went down that route. What I got was this. I got the ball and I fucking ran at defenders. I ran through them, I ran at them, and that was my game from that on. And that has always been my game. Get the ball, fucking hit it 20 yards, outrun them, outmuscle them, go through them. And that's what I made a career in football doing, you know. You ask any fan that's watched me, any manager, I was very direct. So then you know, I ended up not signing for him. Ended up going to Droylsden, so I signed a deal with Droylsden. And I didn't like it. I weren't playing that much, and I was struggling with my Crohn's disease. So if you don't know what Crohn's disease is, you know, I was shitting I could shit blood 30 times a day, and that's when I got my diagnosis, and it affected my life. I was very tired. I couldn't play football properly. I could only last half an hour without getting cramp, and it affected me, yeah. But even though So then I moved on to Skelmersdale United and we won the league, yeah. I'd be coming off the bench because I couldn't play more than half an hour because of my stomach. You know, I couldn't play it. I cramp up, mate, in my calf. All my legs would lock up due to my Crohn's disease. So anyway, it comes to the end of the Skem season and I'm like, I spoke to the manager, Tommy Lawson, and he said, you know what, Telford are after you. I was like, what? He said, yeah, it's, I went, I don't want to go football full time. I was like, what are you on about? Why would you not? I said, I don't. He said, well, it's not even full time anyway. He said, it's 2 nights a week, play on a Saturday. Telford at the time were in the Conference North. Big club, Telford. They had a fan base of probably about 3,000 every week watching them. Liam Watson rang me up. He was like, Michael. And I said no at first. I said, no, it's not for me. Why? I do not know. So anyway, I spoke to my mate and he was like, you got to go and give it a go. They were paying me £300 a week, as well as my overwage. As a 22-year-old lad, it's good money, that. So I said, right, I'm going to give it a go. So I signed for Telford. We trained, we set off down to Manchester, from Manchester. All the team was either scouts was all from Manchester. So we had a car, a car of us that go down. Me, Adam Farrell, sometimes we meet Sean Clancy in Liverpool. Hey, anyway, we go down there, and for my first season, I was mainly coming off the bench. I played some games, but I was struggling badly with my Crohn's disease. But, I scored something like 14 goals. We won the league. Yeah, so we won the league. So we got promoted to the conference. And from the conference, and in the conference, something changed. Where I remember an interview with Liam Watson, he went, I don't think the conference is going to handle Mike Phoenix's style. I don't think left backs, full backs understand that what they're coming up against Michael Phoenix. And I read the interview, I thought, fucking hell, that's good. They give me the number 7 shirt. I remember flying back from Portugal, been on a bender with my mates, and I landed in Tills and I went out, getting off my head. But I had a man at Colford, he said, I'm going to give you the number 7 shirt. Phoenix on the back. Yeah, Phoenix on the back. And that was it. What I've always wanted as a kid was to be on Sky Sports News. Sky Sports, Gillette Soccer Saturday. So in the conference, it's all on there. And I wanted my name on the back. I wanted number 9. But I got number 7, so I'll settle for that. That was it. Phoenix on the back of my shirt. And I always wanted it. It's every kid's dream. It's every kid's dream. Well, it was mine. And I remember, so for the first, I think I played the first 15 games. I got sent off in my first game. I got sent off, pushing someone in the back, trying to head a goal in, and then I made a late challenge. So first game in the conference wasn't the best. So I was banned the next game, and then he put me straight back in the squad the next game. And I thought, I think I'm going to do all right here. And I started scoring, mate. I think I scored something like 9 goals in the first 14 games. I was top goal scorer in the conference. So me being me, I got a bit, I met my girlfriend then. My girlfriend had come along, one of the most beautiful women in our area, and I had to fight for her. I had to put up a fight. We didn't get along at first, and she was sleeping with people, and I was sleeping with people. And then one day, I remember, I thought, you know what, I'm going to show this girl. I'm going to not stay in with her tonight. I'm going to go out with the lads, because I couldn't get her. She's a bit younger than me. And then one day she went, I'm just ready to give it a go, me and you. And we did, we hit it off, mate. We never argued. Ever. We had good sex, good thing, yeah. We never argued. And then, I remember Sunday afternoon, I had a phone call from Halifax. Halifax rang me up, they go, Michael, you're on non-contract at Telford because of your Crohn's disease. I said, yeah, I am. I said, I can leave at any time. They offered me 500 quid a week. So part-time, so 500 quid a week, plus what I was earning for my other job, which is good money. I fucking boom. Fucking life's good, I remember driving down the street one day going, fuck me, I'm only 23. Life is good, Obviously it's not the amount of money people make these days in football, but it was good enough for me. I could afford to go out when I wanted, I could afford what clothes I wanted, I could afford, to have that nice car. Anyway, I was on my way to making it to the big time. I was. Little did I know what was going to happen. So we didn't sign for it. My manager got wind that I was going to Halifax. I told him, And he said, no, you're not going to Halifax. He said, I'm going to get you to Barnsley. I said, what? You're going to get me to Barnsley? I said, that's League One. He said, yeah, that's where you're going. He said, I'll pick you up tomorrow. I was like, what? He said, I'll pick you up tomorrow. You've got a fitness test. You've got a medical. If you pass all that, you're signing for Barnsley in League One tomorrow. I was just like, what? So I told my missus, and she's like, what? I'm a wag now? I was like, yeah, you're a wag. You know, we're a buzzing me. So anyway, I went, there's my shirt from Barnsley. Here's where I signed. Here's me playing against MK Dons Dele Alli. Marky Dele Alli for a game. What a fuck, not a game, for half a game. What a nightmare that was. Fucking just chasing him, mate. He just glided with the ball. So, then, you know, we move on to life at Barnsley. So what happened was I had to quit my other job because we were full-time. And I remember, mate, honestly, it was a dream, mate. I remember warming up one morning. It was a Monday morning. And I thought, fuck me. I was 24. So it took me all this time to get into the Football League, you know. You see many players now getting into the Football League at 17, 18. League 1 and 2 now is full. League 2 is full of young lads because the wages are shit in League 2, you know. Full of young lads now, but then it weren't really. So it took me to 24 to get into the Football League. It was my dream, you know. And going back to, you know, this is where I started to love attention. I did. This is where attention got me. I remember scoring, just going back to my Telford days, I remember scoring a last minute equaliser against Barnet. Barnet were wanting to win the league, and we were 1-0 down. And it was the 94th minute, and Andy Owens got the ball on the left, and I was on the right. I was making my way, mate, from into the inside of the box, edge of the area, and it's 94th minute. He's played a ball right over everyone, and I've headed it, boom, straight across, back across goal. Have a look on YouTube, and it's gone boom, straight in the corner, and the place at Telford erupted, mate. It was sick, and it was all over Sky Sports. You know, Jeff, Mike Phoenix has just scored a goal, last minute goal against Barnet, and boom, attention, mate. So I'd have then, this is where you make a lot of fake friends. All your good friends love it, but this is where jealousy starts. This is where, you know, I love the attention. And this is where, I promise you, I started to struggle to come down from football matches and go home. Yeah, so going back to my cocaine use, I was heavily using cocaine then. Not in the week, I was heavily using cocaine from the moment I got away from football. So I got home and I couldn't come down from the attention, from the excitement, from the passion, from the adrenaline. I couldn't come down. So I just used to go out every Saturday night. Yeah, I did. So when the time for Barnsley, it was a bit different. I struggled because they signed me outside the transfer window. I couldn't play for the first 2 months. 3 months I couldn't play. And, you know, me and my ex-missus at the time, we moved into a house. She fell pregnant. Life's fucking good, so I thought. But she had started noticing, you know, my cocaine use, you know. And so life at Barnsley didn't start the best. You know, they put me on a good contract, a 2.5 year deal. I was training with the 21s on a Saturday. And this is what don't make sense. Like, you know, instead of going to stay and watch the game at Barnsley home games, I'd just go home. I'd go home and I'd just get off my fucking head, mate. I'd take cocaine, professional footballer. And yeah, I was heavily addicted then. Very much heavily addicted. But I stopped. So I thought, I can't carry on like this. I'm at Barnsley. And I stopped, mate. I stopped for a certain amount of time. I thought, if I get drug tested, I'm fucked. I seen, for the first time in football, I seen the drug testers come in. And I was like, fuck, man. What? So I stopped. Because they had a reason to stop. So I thought that'd be enough. You know, I've got a kid on the way. Got my missus, beautiful. She's got a child that I felt, you know, I saw her as my own. we've got a nice house, got a nice car, I've got money in the bank, I'll stop. Fucking didn't last long, mate. You know, I remember them. So it comes to Christmas out of the way. I remember drinking Christmas Day, and the manager said, you know what, you're going to make your debut soon, come to Preston North End away. The coach is picking you up at Charlie, come to Preston, get used to the atmosphere and that. And I remember fucking Preston, mate. I remember watching, you know, fuck me. So I did some running on the pitch, and that was the first time I was introduced to a crowd of fucking 20,000 or something. I was like, wow, this is sick. So I stopped sniffing cocaine a bit. But I couldn't stop completely, you know. And drugs in football is very, very high. I'm going to tell you that. It is. There's a lot of cover-ups in football. I'm not going to mention names, it's not about that, but yeah. So I made my debut in January. And honestly, I was that nervous, that excited that my Crohn's disease flared up about 4 days before. Right? I was like, you've got to be joking. You've got to be joking. And I'm passing blood. Honestly, 20, I was going, the manager's like, where are you going? I said, I need toilet. I didn't tell him that I was shitting blood. Didn't want to let people down, didn't want to let my family down. I didn't want to let myself down. I'm going through the pain barrier. Get me on that pitch. So I made my debut, half an hour, away at Scunthorpe. I didn't really do much, I'm not going to lie. Week after, I made an appearance, and then week after, I come on at the MK Arena. A few of Kate's family come and seen it, and I was struggling with my stomach. But I thought, I'm getting on pitch. Anyway, so I played against Dele Alli. It's my claim to fame now. He was fucking class, by the way. He's only 17. And then I come off the pitch, I was fucked, so I was exhausted. And I pulled the manager on the Monday. I said, Gaffer, I said, I'm struggling bad with my Crohn's disease. He's just like, Michael, you're going to have to go to hospital. So I went to hospital, and they kept me in for 6 weeks. My Crohn's disease was very bad. I was just like, fucking hell, I've let everyone down. I'm a failure. I've got to the Football League. My body's not allowing me to do what I want to do. It's hard to take, you know. It's hard to take. But I weren't helping myself as well, you know, with my drug use. So anyway, I get out of hospital. It gets to the end of the season. I was just training. End of the season. Just get fit, Michael. So summer comes. I go away with the family. I was just taking drugs all summer, mate. My addiction had got me by the bollocks. It wasn't a week. I didn't do it in the week, though. I didn't do it in the week. It was just a Saturday. But them Saturdays started to go into Sundays, yeah? So Saturday, I couldn't control. Once I put one drug in my body, I couldn't control when I was going to stop. So, you know, it was very much 8 in the morning. I was still wrecked or still very much tuned in. And my missus is like, you can't go on like this. It's not good for, you know, you're around your kids. Many of you are going to understand this, you know. I was around my kids, still tuned in, just horny as fuck. And then she'd let me sleep at night, and I'd give her money, she'd go out with kids, and it fucking happened week on week, this. Family life become hard. We never argued, me and my ex never argued. We got ours on like an house on fire, apart from drugs. Drugs and drinking. Fucking cause chaos. So, pre-season came at Barnsley. I went on tour with him to Scotland. You know, I weren't thinking about drinking drugs then, but it was still in the back of my head. Like, so I come back and the manager goes, Michael, you're going to be out. You're going to be on the bench for the first, like, 5 or 6 games, maybe. He said, there's that option. So I was on the bench for the first 2 games. I never come on. I was like, I can't be arsed with this. So you know what? I come from playing every week in the conference to being on the bench. And this is where a massive regret of mine is. Or is it? I don't know, because I could have maybe gone on then. Got me place, you know, my ability, my pace, my power would have got me into League One easily. And I would have gone on to the Championship. I firmly believe that. But also, looking back at it now, I lack confidence. I lack confidence in and around people at Barnsley because I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. I don't know why. Because I come from non-league, but you see it all the time, but I was very, very naive to football. I remember training with Levi Leiter, you got players like Mason Aldgate now in the Prem, Ben Pearson, Levi Leiter, I'm looking at him going, he's just playing for England. Peter Ramage, just come from Palace. Peter Ramage, he looked after me at Barnsley, he did. And yeah, I went on Southport come in for me. So Southport come in and said, do you want to go out on loan? Go and get some game time in you. Go and score some goals. I said, you know what, I will. So I went on loan. I was getting the same wages from Barnsley. But Southport paying half. Get me out on loan. So I went out on loan, signed for Southport. I signed for Southport on a year, as a 6-month loan. And what happened was, about halfway through, I remember one night I was struggling. This is where my ADHD started to come into light. I struggled to switch off, so I was working. So what I did, I was a professional footballer who was only training 3 days a week for Southport. They didn't make me go back to Barnsley. So I started working for my mate again on the phone, sales. But I needed it because my ADHD was out of control then, if you look back. I had to be doing something all the time. And then it'd get to, this is where, I took diazepam in the past and sleepers I had. This is where the first time diazepam caused me a problem. So we had a game away at Kidderminster. And I had 3 pints of Stella in the railway pub near mine. And I had 2 diazepam off my mate, not my mate, a lad. And I didn't wake up till 11 o'clock the next day. My missus didn't wake up. And the coach was setting off at 11. I rang the gaffer, and this is where a major problem in football started, I rang the gaffer and he goes, Michael, where are you? I said, fucking hell, I've overslept. My missus, she was pregnant. He said, you're going to have to come. You're starting. I'm like, I'm never going to get there, gaffer, in time. He's like, right, well, come down. I need you on the bench. My diazepam was still in my system, mate. Right. And we'll get to it. Wow, I knew that. So I drove, I set off, I was going to meet him at fucking Kidderminster. I set off in my car, BMW, blitzing it down East Lancs, boom, straight into a fucking barrier. So I rang my missus, I went, get here, you're going to pick me up. She had a little Ford KA at the time. So you're going to have to pick me up, you're going to have to take me to Kidderminster. She was like, are you taking a piss? I said, no. I said, come on. So she picked me up, and I was slurring my words. I was still out of it. I remember, right? So, I remember, it's tight, I'd done this. My missus is heavily pregnant, by the way. Dragged her, and what I did was, I said, I'll give you some money, go shopping while the game's on. I'll meet you outside. It's tight looking back, it's disgusting. So anyway, I got there just before kick-off. So he said, obviously you're on the bench. And I come on the mat, and this is the most embarrassing part of football. I come on in the 60th minute, or something like that. And I got subbed off in the 68th. Diazepam, still in my stick. I was still fucked off them, mate. I don't know what was in them. And I was standing 10 yards offside, asking for the ball. There's a video. The game was recorded. They showed it me. And I'm 10 yards offside, absolutely off my carrot on diazepam still, screaming for the ball in front of fucking 5,000 fans or whatever. I look like an idiot. So I come off and the gaffer goes to me, have you been on drugs? I goes, no, gaffer. I said, no. I said, struggle with sleep. My head's a bit of a mess because my missus is pregnant and she's had a few problems. Making bullshit up. Bullshit. And I remember coming off the pitch and I got my shirt, I took my shirt off, I chucked it on the floor. I said, I'll never play for you again, gaffer. I didn't know what I was doing. He was like, well, I've not even done anything. I said, fuck off. So I got changed, the game had not even finished, and I met my missus outside, we went home, and I slept, mate. Honestly, I don't know what was it. I've had a load of diazepam in the past. These, summer in them, mate. I slept all night. I can't even remember the Saturday night, the Sunday morning. And I come round and Lee Johnson rang me. Lee Johnson, Barnes, the manager, rang me. He said, Michael, what's been going on? I said, Gaffer, I said, Gaffer, mate. I said, it's nothing to do with me, mate. They subbed me on, they subbed me off. You know, this is I started playing the blame game, you know. He said, well, what was up with you? I said, I just fucking had a few sleepless nights with the missus and that. And he said, right, well, they want to terminate your contract. You're going to have to come back to Barnsley. So I went back to Barnsley. No, I didn't. I didn't go back to Barnsley. I didn't train for a week. I just had a week off. I had a week off. Until I knew what was happening. Then Southport couldn't get out of this 6-month deal this time for me. So the manager rang me back up. He said, we played last week. We actually missed you. Will you come back? I was like, fucking hell. So I went back and I apologised to all the lads. Boom. So it come to a stage then where I had, end of the season, I signed another 6 months. End of that season, Southport wanted to sign me. Barnsley wanted to pay me up. And they were offering me good dough, mate. Good dough. Thousands upon tens of thousands, yeah? I went, fuck me, that's good. This is where money got better than me, you know. Instead of going, you know what, fuck that, mate. I'm seeing my contract out. I'm going to get myself into that team. Fuck that, I see money, mate. So I took a pay up. And I didn't sign for Southport because they were reducing the wages and it was nowhere near what I was on. I thought, fuck them, they could go fuck themselves. I remember I was, you know, Salford City rang me. Bernard Morley, mate. Yeah. Bernard Morley, one of the most sweetest men in football I've ever met. You know, I still speak to him today. We're watching him tonight, actually. At Radcliffe. But he rang me about 6 months prior. And it was about 10 o'clock at night. He rang me and went, hey, is that Fino? I went, who the fuck's this? He's like, Bernard Morley, Salford City. I just went, boom, see ya, bye. I said, I'm not signing for Salford City, mate. They're in fucking Evil Stick 1 or something. I said, I'm a fucking professional, you might come. So anyway, they got to the Conference North. And he rang me and said, will you come and have a chat with me and Jono and Karen? No, Karen was there. The chairwoman. And we met at the John Gilbert Worst and he said, what do you want wages? I told him what wages I wanted. He said, right, leave it with us. We want to sign you. You're a local lad. Gary Neville and all the, you know, Phil, whoever involved, want local lads from Manchester to play. So he ended up signing a 1-year deal. So what I thought was, I'll go back working for my mate again, signed a 1-year deal with Salford. And I had in footballing terms, I had the best 2 years I've ever had. But my relationship broke down. Cocaine got the better of me. I remember signing my deal. Yeah, Sunday, me, Michael Nottingham, Scotty Burton, we were all there, stood there with shirts. The ground was a bit of a shithole at the time, not like it is today, the Peninsula Stadium. And Bernard went, so what are you doing this afternoon? I said, I'm just going home chilling me, mate. He said, yeah, all right, I can tell you're a fucking bad one. I went, no, I'm going out, to be honest with you. Just signed a deal, mate, I'm going out. So, yeah, I was bad then. And I was on it every weekend, you know. Breaks my heart because I used to lie to Bernard and Jono every weekend, mate, and I love them guys. And I used to lie, mate, all the time and go, you know, Bernard said to me at the end of the season, he said, you know how many Mondays you've had off? I said, fucking hell, mate, I just, you know, he knew, but he didn't know how bad my cocaine addiction was. He didn't know. And Jono didn't know, you know what I mean? So I was then very much, yeah, Saturday night, boom, gone. My missus and kids, they'd had enough of me, mate. They'd had enough. It was tight on her. It was so cruel. Biggest regret of my life. Biggest regret of my life was the day, you know, I remember going out with my ex. And we went out on one night out. And she said, it's make or break this, Michael. And I just went, yeah, sweet, mate. Mate, you're never leaving me. And I remember she said, right, we're going home midnight. And I went, I'm not going home, mate. I remember getting in the taxi with her. I got her in the, fucking makes me sick, mate. Got her in the taxi, and I jumped out, and I went back in there, let's try to quick get home. I walked, I'm fucking mad. I got home the next morning. And she was at her mates, and she rang me. She said, "Right, Michael, I'm moving out in 6 weeks with the kids." I was just like, "Oh, you know." What happened then was I had the house to myself. And every Saturday, I'd be going straight through to Sunday. Yeah, this is where addiction got me by the bollocks. And then what I would be doing, I weren't drinking. I was just dry sniffing cocaine. Yeah, I'd be drinking at night when I was out. But say 4 o'clock in the morning, through to Sunday night, every time, every single time. You try and get hold of me on a Sunday when I was playing football. My mates used to say to me, "Can never get hold of you at weekends." Why? Because I was wrapped up, mate, in a bed, just getting drug dealers to pull drugs through my fucking door all day, every day, on Sunday, Saturday night. I used to go out, get paranoid, come home, order loads of drugs, and I escaped life. I escaped the problem that my ex was leaving me. I escaped the problem that I failed football. Well, you know, I was a failure. I escaped the problem that I missed my mum. I escaped the problem, you know, that we'd lost our sister when I was at Barnsley, you know. We escaped problems and we didn't deal with anything. Our solution was drugs, cocaine, nothing else. Didn't like any other drug, me. Didn't like any other drug. I love cocaine. And this is when I started dry sniffing a lot. And it had me by the boat. So every Friday, Saturday, we finish this Salford game and I'd be out somewhere, doing something, thinking I'm this and that. You know, back sleeping with girls. You know, my ex had left. And I'm honest, I remember, this makes me sick. Makes me sick, this. My ex was walking out the door with the girls. You know, and I say girls, one's my daughter, and one is just seen as my daughter, you know. Because I brought her up. And she left, mate, yeah. And I just went, yeah. In the 6 weeks, I never tried to keep her. Biggest regret in my life. Yeah, it's not today, I won't feel like that today, but at the time, you know, if you think, she left, and I went, right, see ya. I went and bought a PlayStation 5. I was 28-year-old. I went and bought a PlayStation 5. Got a load of beak. I thought, this is the life, mate. I'm I'm still playing football. I've got a good job as well. I've got a PS5. I've got loads of coke. I'll just get an hooker or something, or whatever. Get a woman bound, because I can, because I play for Salford City. In our own town, it was a big thing at the time, you know, with going through the leagues. Well, went on for 2 years. Yeah. After them 2 years, I had another year left as well. In the meantime, I signed a 2-year deal with Salford. Full time. Which was good. I had a year left and they got up into the conference. We won the league. Another league I'd won. You know, so I won the league with Skent, Telford. Won the league with Salford. And it was fucking sick, mate. I remember, you know, Ryan Giggs scolds you all for congratulating you. Sir Alex Ferguson, we used to have chats off Sir Alex Ferguson. Fucking boy's dream, mate. And, you know, we had 2 of the best managers in non-league. Fucking superb guys, mate, you know. Fucking salt of the earth, mate, they are. But they left. They didn't get on with Neville. You will have seen it all over documentaries and that. Yeah, there was a programme on us on BBC. Fucking, I'm on the telly. Yeah, fucking me. That's it. My ego is fucking through the roof, mate. I'm telling you now. Attention, I loved attention, but I didn't like it, kind of. I used to hate it. My mates used to go, yeah, he's a footballer, or, you know, I wasn't even a footballer, really. I was playing fucking non-league, but you're still seen as a footballer. And yeah, he plays for Salford, and fucking, I used to love that they said it, but I hated it. I don't know, I couldn't work it out. I love the attention, but I didn't like bringing it up myself. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is where, you know, attention again. Loved it. You know, so I was single again. I was sleeping with a girl every fucking weekend. Then, you know, Southport come back in for me, believe it or not. Offered me another 2-year deal. I thought, fucking hell, this is mint, this. On more money. So I signed for Southport, we trained 3 days a week, still working for me mate. And, but I'd gone. Addiction had got me. I was so unfit. So that was their marquee signing. Liam Watson, you know, one of you. And for the first 4 or 5 games I played, but I weren't playing well. I was unfit, mate. I was unfit because I was binging from the moment I left Southport. I was binging. Not in the week, but fucking weekends. Fucking, I was exhausting my body. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I couldn't train properly. And it showed me. And I remember being on a night out and we had the FA Cup game. And I weren't starting. Drug testers come in and that's when my life changed forever. Career-wise. Drug testers waiting for me. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I've been grassed in. I still truly believe today I got grassed in by my manager or the owner, which was very much they deserved to do it. Yeah, they deserved to do it because I was taking all the money. Didn't have an interest in playing football. I just wanted to sniff myself, mate, to death. And you know, I was still seeing my child at the time during the week, but I wasn't a present father. I wasn't. All I wanted to do was sniff fucking cocaine. And I couldn't understand why, you know. So, you know, I ended up with, at the time, because of my weight loss, I was taking Anavar, which is a mild steroid. A lot of people in non-league were taking it. And I took it for 2 months, so I thought, I'll do this drug test, I'm going to get banned for cocaine. Because I'd just come off a serious 48-hour bender. I was sniffing liquid coke, normal coke, fucking coke everywhere, all over the face. And I stopped. I had my last line of cocaine at 6:45 in the morning, and I set off for fucking training at 7:30. I must have looked ill. Got in, manager goes, "Alright mate, you look bright and breezy." And I don't know if he's having me off to this day. Thought he must have been having me off. Got in gym, mate, fucking drug test is coming, and I was like, fuck's sake, this is me done. I remember voice note with my mate, I said, "Listen mate, I'm done. He was like, "What are you on about?" I fell out with my mate, not turning into work the week before, so he weren't talking to me. I just said, "Sorry mate, but I'm done anyway now." And I got banned. I got a 4-year ban. I went to Wembley, 2 hearings, told them what I'd had, told them my struggles with cocaine. They went to me, the FA went to me, yeah, they went, "How the fuck have you sniffed that much cocaine?" He said, "It's in the levels of cocaine you are showing in your system on this fucking blood sample is out of this world." I said, "I fucking love it, mate." No, I didn't. I said, "I don't sniff cocaine." I said, "I don't even sniff it." It was like, my PFA agent's looking at me going, "Michael," I said, "I don't take cocaine, mate." Fucking mad. So anyway, it comes to like the second hearing. I said, "Yeah, I have. I've been struggling with my ex. I've had my sister die, my mum died when I was a kid, my little nephew had died." I said, "I'm struggling, I need help." And they just looked at me. I said, "I took Oxanzone to put a bit of weight on me." And they just took the book at me, mate. They went, "Fucking 4-year ban." I mean, my PFA looked at it. My PFA agent was like, "Fucking 4 years, he's out of order." 2 years. You know, and what happened was this. I went down, yeah? I went down with the tub of steroids I was taking. I said, "That's what I've been taking. There you go." And they just went, "Right, that you've been taking that, boom, 4-year ban." Somebody got done a year after me and got 2 years because he said he didn't know how he got in his fucking system. So if I would have lied, I would have got 2 years. But I promise you, some of the first time in my life I wanted to start to tell the truth, and he got me in fucking shit. So I got a 4-year ban. My contract from Southport got terminated within 4 weeks. I lost out my bonuses that I was due for my signing on fee. I lost everything. What happened then is I started to take out credit cards. My house, I had to sell my house, sell my car. And the addiction took over. This is when I just started feeling sorry for myself. My missus had gone, kids, I moved back in. No, what happened was I sold my house. No, I didn't sell my house. I went to rehab, sorry. I went to rehab for a month. It was a detox, cost me 8 grand. I didn't even have 8 grand, I had to lend it off my dad, so I sold my house. So I was paying 8 grand, I come out within fucking 4 days, I'm fucking using again. My ex had given me a second chance. She said, "Go to detox. Me and you have got another chance at life." I was like, fucking buzzing. And then, you know, in the past, we've been through trying to get help by the NHS. I remember fucking going in, and there's a video on TikTok I did, and the NHS went, "Right, just start taking coke, you know, Start taking your coke later on in the night. Don't stop taking it, just start taking it. I was like, fucking hell, is that it? Is that all I have to do? And I thought that was it. And obviously that didn't work. And this is where, you know, the NHS are very, very ignorant towards addiction. They don't know what they're on about, most of them. So anyway, yeah, I went into a detox. It was basically, we did fuck all apart from fucking play games. Fucking learn about cocaine. Not learn about me. I learn about cocaine as if, you know, yeah, it's going to kill you. Yeah, I was like, fuck it. So I come out of there and I did Christmas sober. And it weren't 4 days. It was about 2 weeks after. 2 weeks after, I remember I went to me, and my ex were getting back on, was like, maybe boyfriend and girlfriend again, or seeing each other. I was with the kids, Christmas, good. But what happened was, on Christmas Day, I knew I needed something. I remember taking loads of Coca-Cola all through the day, just to fucking, that craving was there, that obsession was there. I couldn't have Coke, because people would know, so I'd take codeine. And I just went straight back. 2 weeks later, I bought a bag of Coke off the Albanians. I rang her the next day in the morning. I was feeling sorry for myself, and I went, okay, I've got back on it. And she went, boom, done, we're done. I just cried, mate, I cried. She went, you're done. I was living at my nan's. This is where I become a fucking ratty addict. I become a rat, I turned into a rat. So I got a job in sales, Peninsula, and I was just spending everything. So I was living at my nan's rent-free, bless her. And this is where I was skint. I was earning about 300, 400, 500 quid a week, depending on my sales. And some weeks I was earning $1,000, like, you could hit targets. I lasted 3 months in that job because I weren't turning in. So then my wages, I went working on site, and then your wages on site were 300, 400 quid a week. I was spending it every week on week. And my dad had to bail me out sometimes when I'd gone on a fucking grand bender. And you know, so I got all the help money from my house, sold my house. I was left with a certain amount. I'm not going to say what amount, but I sniffed a lot, mate. I could have reset off. I'm going to buy another house, by the way. Sniffed it. Fucking big regret. I told everyone it was less than what it was. You know, give me the ex a little bit of money. Paid my dad back 20 grand. I sniffed a lot, mate. Fucking ridiculous. But I was an addict. You know what I mean? I didn't understand my addiction then. I didn't know about Cocaine Anonymous. I didn't know about anything. And for 4 years, mate, I was just living at my nan's, working on site, sniffing, constantly sniffing. So it started creeping in on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. And then every time I'd have it, it'd be 3 days. Fucking on it, fucking ticking it, fucking scavving, nicking money, fucking being a rat, mate. And this is where I become a person that I don't like today. I'm not that person now. This is where I turn into a fucking monster, mate, because I've lied to my dad, I've lent money off my dad, I've lied to my nan, lent money off my nan, lied to my sister, lent money off my sister, and just be an absolute rat. Lie in my nan's bedroom, fucking 3 days, pretending I'm ill, taking coke, fucking ticking it off people, getting myself in trouble. You know, in that process, my nan's Windsor's got smashed, fucking old woman, disgusts me. So anyway, over the 4 years, that's all I was doing. All I was doing is getting money, living, my nan would buy me food, and I sniffed everything. So it comes to a point where my granddad was ill. We sadly lost my granddad to cancer last year. And it comes to a point where I was asked, would I move in with my granddad? I said, yeah. He had 6 months to live, maybe. So for 6 months, I lived with my granddad, and he died. And I was sniffing drugs at my granddad's house. I was an addict, I couldn't control it. Yeah, and I lied to everyone, yeah, no, I'm off it. Look at some of my old Instagram videos, mate, I look ill. And my granddad died, and about a month later, I had that much coke where my heart was stopping in bed at my granddad's, because the house had not been sold yet. And I owed a lot of money out. I owed about fucking 3 grand out, 2 grand on a Friday. I had 800 quid left to my name. And I thought, I can't carry on like this. I'm going to be dead. I nearly died the night before. Shaz, a big dog that I found, by the way. I found about a month earlier. Who I still have today, bless her. I found her, and So what happened, right, I was in this serious psychosis. So I get really paranoid and I get psychosis of an anaconda waiting to eat me. And one night I had this anaconda at the end of the bed. And I opened my eyes, closed my eyes, the anaconda is there, mate. It's like... And then the next night I had it again where it was there in front of my face. And I was in and out of consciousness, mate. And this anaconda's there. Shazza jumped on me. And honestly, she jumped on me and brought me round out this. I think I was on my way out. I promise you now, my heart had gone. My heart, I come round and my heart was not beating properly. So I got to sleep and I woke up the next day, right? And my sister was like, what the fuck are you doing? So I had a chat with her, she left. And I thought, right, that's it, I'm done. I got in my van. This is where my recovery started. I got in my van. I got Shazza in the van, I put some clothes in the van, and I drove to fucking London, mate, from Manchester. I drove around this roundabout about 18 times going, what do I do? I owe this money out, do I pay it and get back on it, or do I go and try and change my life? That was a defining day in my recovery. Yeah, it's not for the day that I started to get clean, I kept clean, because it's not, because we had a relapse, but that's the day I went, you know what? The last time I went to a rehab, I was pushed into it. I thought, I know I can get help from the PFA. I got myself out of Manchester, mate. I turned my phone off for a week. Best decision I ever made. And I was happy. Living in my van. It was January. It was freezing. But I was just travelling the country. I ended up with fucking about fucking £2 in parking fines. I ended up with fucking all sorts. But I was away from drugs. I was away from drugs. I had 800 quid. And I was sleeping in the van, I was sleeping, I weren't taking drugs. Me and Shaz were out walking, I was experiencing life without drugs for the first time. I was 3 weeks off it. For the first time in fucking 10 years, mate. And I felt good, so I thought I'll reach out to the PFA. I need rehab. So the PFA said, yeah, we're going to get you down to the Tony Adams rehab for a month. I just said, and then they rang me back a week later. She said, are you okay? You still living in your van? I said, yeah, I'm not going home to Manchester. You know, people ask me, come on, Michael, we're all working. I said, I'm not coming home. I need help. And I'd admitted defeat to a certain extent that cocaine, I was powerless. So, I get a call off the PFA and they go, Michael, we're going to send you to Scarborough for 3 months. I was like, what? 3 months? She said, listen, you need 3 months, Michael. You're really bad. You've got a lot of trauma in your life. You've got a lot of depression. You need to do a 12-step program of recovery in this rehab in Scarborough. And I just went, I'll do it. I'll do it. So I stayed at my sister's for a few nights. I went to rehab. And I loved rehab. I loved the rehab. I'm not going to mention the name. The rehab in Scarborough I went to, I fucking loved. I remember walking up the steps one day, the first day, and I thought, fucking hell. And I walked up and this is where I met my friend Kirsty. And she went, alright mate, you alright mate? I'm Kirsty, it's fucking alright in here. I thought, fucking hell, this is the place for me, get me in. And they had a laugh, mate. I met, you know, one of my closest mates now, Matthew, in there. One of my closest friends, Kirsty. I met some dickheads in there. I got into trouble. I thought I owned the place. But I went through a 12-step program of recovery. And I loved it. I got passionate about it. I got well. So I come out of rehab. Yeah, I moved back. The rehab, the PFA, sorry, said we'll pay for you 2 months rent for an house. So I got a new house, I got a rented house. I moved into that. I come out of rehab and I stopped. I went to meetings. I didn't get a sponsor in the outside world. So I meant to go through the 12-step program again. And I didn't do it. So from then, really, I was struggling. I was kind of pretending that I was all right. And I was for the first 2 months. And then I started hanging around with the wrong people again, going to my local football club, again, which is drinking drugs, and I relapsed. I couldn't see my daughter. I kept saying, I'm going to go to court and get my daughter back. I was working for myself as a roofer, so I was earning good money, and I relapsed in the September, badly. I felt sorry for myself. And then I stopped again until fucking, for over Christmas, like November, December, maybe October, November, December. I was just bang at it, mate, and I was earning good money roofing. I got myself into a lot of trouble, people saying I was ripping them off. I weren't finishing jobs, openly admit it. I was a fucking ratty, disgusting addict. And I was, honestly mate, I look back 1 month in roofing, I had 12 grand going in my bank in 1 month, and I didn't have a pot pissing. And over Christmas, and it led me to moving back to my dad's, because I had to give up the house because I weren't paying the rent. You know, that caused me a lot of trouble on Facebook. The roofing game caused me a lot of trouble on Facebook. People were fucking giving me shit I deserved. So, got to a point where Christmas was, I love Christmas, yeah, I love Christmas. But this is the first Christmas I struggled, mate. I struggled. And I didn't touch drugs over Christmas, like Christmas Day, New Year's Day, but Christmas Day, Boxing Day, the days coming up, I didn't. And I come into some money, you know, decent amount of money I come into, and it got to fucking hell, mate. Fucking makes me fucking. It got to the 28th, I thought, right, I'm going, I don't know what happened, mate. And I went on a bender, and on the 4th day of that bender, I turned my phone off. I tried to kill myself. And when I say I tried to kill myself, I fucking tried. I was sniffing about fucking, you know, 750 to £1,000 in a day. I fucking was in hotels. Easily. And my tolerance was that high over the years, mate. I've gone that much fucking doing these benders. My tolerance is through the roof. Like, I could have 4 bags and walk down and no one would know. Don't get wrong, I'd be paranoid, but people wouldn't know. And it got to this place and I put a voice note in my fucking messages to my group chat, and I just went, lads, I'm done. I'm sniffing this coke, I'm out of here, bye. I didn't think anyone knew where I was. I promise you on this life I didn't. I thought, this is me, and I sat there, mate, like this. Fucking, come on, let me out, I was going. Come on. I remember fucking going onto the floor, backing out of the floor, thinking I'm Spider-Man. I was in and out of consciousness. And then I heard this, I was in and out, mate. I was gone. I wanted to go, like, you know, like the scene of fucking The Wolf of Wall Street. It was crawling me. And I was like, just give it a note. I'm trying to sniff every last bit of me. I was going. And I heard this voice. It was with fucking my friend's girlfriend. She's like, Michael. I was like, come round a bit. Like, I was fucking crawling, couldn't get off the floor, couldn't move. Fucking, this is not the plan. I want to go. My life's done with. I'm going to leave a beautiful, whatever money I've got left in the bank, I'm leaving for my daughter. And I'm going. And they ended up breaking it. I went to ambulance, I went to hospital, spent 4 days in hospital. Fucking come out of hospital the same day, mate, I got straight back on it. Fucking just tried killing myself, got straight back on it. And I did exactly the same again. I didn't tell, I never really told anyone this bit, but I tried to do it again. I was again on the floor. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I fell asleep in the end. My sister got me out of there the next day, said, you need to sort your life out. And you know what? Proud to say I've been clean ever since, you know, 5 weeks on. And I got myself to the hospital. I said, listen, I need help with my ADHD. I need help with my mental health. I need help with me. I'll sort my addiction myself. I went to hospital, they tried sending me home with diazepam. And I said, fucking no chance. And I kicked up a fuss. You might have seen it on TikTok. The NHS, the shit scared of me. And I said, I'm going nowhere until you get me into an hospital, into a mental health hospital. And it's not going to happen, Michael. I said, it fucking is going to happen. And I slept in A&E for 3 nights and somebody took me seriously. And it took 3 different mental health teams for them to go, fucking hell. I said, you don't understand, nurses. I said, I am suicidal. I want to kill myself. If I go out there now, I don't feel safe. I'm a danger to others, I'm a danger to myself. I ended up coming across a nurse who understood me, and she went, right, I'll get you into a mental health hospital, but you're going to have to stay in Bolton A&E for a few nights. I said, that's fine. I said, I'm not bothered, I'll sleep in A&E. Just don't want to kill myself. Because I have what I am going to do. And you know, I put up a fight, and I got help for my ADHD in the mental health hospital quicker than many people do, because I fucking begged them for fucking, do my diagnosis now, do my thingy now before I leave here. And the rest is history, you know. My ADHD today is under control, my personality is under control, and I go to Cocaine Anonymous to help with my addiction. And you know, the last 5 weeks have been brilliant. I'm relaxed. Don't get me wrong, on this podcast I probably come across a bit irate, but that's me, I'm passionate. And I'm relaxed and life is good again. And I've got stuff done. I've set up this podcast, mate. I'm helping others with addiction. I've got a very good TikTok following. That is that. If you see this podcast and you want to come on the podcast to talk about addiction, criminals, mental health, you want to come on here, there's a chair here for you. Come and get involved. Message me. If you don't follow me on TikTok, go and follow me. Mad Mike Being Mad. I do daily updates on my addiction. I'm on YouTube as well, which this is on. Which is Mad Mike Being Mad. And we're on Facebook as Mad Mike Manchester. So thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm dying for a fag. I'm not going to lie. I'll see you for the next episode of the Mad Mike Podcast. Take it easy. Thank you, guys.